Hi everyone, and welcome to episode 5 of my new From Surviving to Thriving video interview series, stories of real people overcoming real adversity. And today I have with me the amazing Paul Ames. Paul is a great friend of mine. We met through coaching connections here in Perth. We've become really good friends, and we've had kind of a similar path, I think, with our careers, which has bonded us a bit, hasn't it, Paul?
Definitely.
And it's been great getting to know you and your journey and sharing in that with you. So I'll hand over to you to introduce yourself, because I don't think anyone can introduce you better than you can.
So true. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show, Carly. I'm really looking forward to sharing some of my knowledge and what I've worked through with your audience. So guys, my name's Paul. I'm based in Perth. Operate my own career counselling business called Sky's the Limit Career Counselling, named after my daughter Sky. I've gone through quite a lot of tough roadblocks like most of us have, and mindset issues where going through self-doubt and limiting beliefs in my life, especially with my business and working a full-time job, and just trying to balance the both, especially with your family, has been quite difficult. So yeah, I hope I've got some insights and advice that's going to help you guys through some of your own roadblocks as well.
Mm-hmm. And not just a family, but young babies while you're trying to do all that stuff. So it's the challenge of sleep deprivation as well, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, definitely.
So let's start by talking about some of the adversity that has happened in your life that has really shaped you into who you are today.
Yeah, definitely. So I think one of the biggest things I think I've struggled with is, for so long being told through high school and through most of my life that I wasn't smart enough to do this, I wasn't smart enough to do that, or, I just wasn't a driven and motivated person, mainly because I had no direction. It took me a long time to figure out why I was so down on myself and why I just had no self-esteem or confidence. And a lot of it through my whole life was just not having anyone to say you're doing a good job or, help me with some guidance or direction. I never felt like I had that support to help me along, especially with my career. So that was probably one of the biggest reasons in high school. Like I had so many negative emotions, and I just floated through high school. I just didn't really care about it. I felt nothing for it. Had no direction, didn't know what I wanted to do after high school. So yeah, found myself, quite down and just kind of wagged school a lot, or just skip school and didn't really put any effort in. So I think that's where my business basically started, because I didn't want other people going through the frustrations that I did and the negative emotions attached with that when trying to figure out what you want to do for your career. As I said, it took me till I was 30 to figure out actually what I love doing. And that was by a fluke. I randomly saw an ad for a diploma of counselling in the paper, and I went, I'm used to doing manual labour sort of work, so it's so far out of left field for me. But I always noticed, like probably the same with you and a lot of the audience, is you notice these natural abilities or these strengths that you have over time. And my biggest one was I helped a lot of my friends. They'd always come to me for advice, or if they're down or their girlfriend had broken up with them, I'd always found that I could console them or help them through these emotions they were going through. So I went, yeah, let's give it a shot. I did my diploma of counselling, surprisingly breezed through it, and did really well in my assessments, and wanted to specialise in careers because that's what I was most passionate about. So yeah, here we are today from that. There's been a lot of other roadblocks and obstacles in the way as well. That's basically a bit of background there.
It's funny, isn't it? Because so many of us coaches, including me, would say, "Oh, I was just that friend at school that everyone would come to, and they'd share their problems, and I'd just seem to know what to naturally say, and they'd walk away feeling better, and I'd feel really good." Yes.
Exactly.
Psychology, counselling, coaching, it all seems like such a natural progression from that, doesn't it? And when Definitely. It's really easy and comes naturally to you, then you do breeze through those courses that you do, don't you? So
exactly,
it's not work if you love what you do, is it?
So true. And I also found that I just love talking to people. I always used to get into trouble at school for talking too much. So I love building relationships and meeting new people, and hence why, I think my podcast has come so natural to me, is because, I don't find it hard. I view everybody the same. To me, money or status doesn't mean a thing to me, and it never has. I always look at people for being people, and probably why I get people on my show, because I'm not afraid to ask or talk to these so-called influencers and ask them to be on my show for the value they can bring.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a soul talking to another soul and you're seeing right through them instead of their status, like you say, then it's just an easier conversation, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah. So how did you talked about limiting beliefs holding you back in, early on, and that you knew they were holding you back. How did that translate up until you kind of found what you wanted to do age 30-ish? How did you, reflecting back on your life, how did those limiting beliefs translate into what was showing up in your life?
Well, it basically just got me angry and confused. And a big part of my life has always been martial arts. I found that my mum actually told me that I had a lot of anger as a kid. As a 3-year-old, she actually bought me a punching bag, which is a really random thing to do. I don't know why. I don't remember that. But she said that I've always had a lot of anger and frustration for some reason. I don't actually know why. So for me, martial arts was always a natural progression, and it's always balanced me and kept me really level, calm and centered. And so that's something that's really helped me through, a lot of my stress and frustration. And I think growing up, that was quite a hard thing for me, is not having, my parents were great parents, don't get me wrong, but I think the support just wasn't there to help and guide and direct me. And so I just felt like I was kind of alone with that. And I guess that frustrated me. And like we were talking about before, builds up into a big amount of, tension and frustration, and martial arts was the natural way just to balance me out. So I've always found that exercise and martial arts has really just kept me level-headed.
It's so true, isn't it? Exercise will help you through so much stress. Yeah,
definitely.
Whatever kind of exercise, it doesn't really matter as long as you love doing it, right?
So true. So true.
So when you got to 30, discovering your passion, at what point was it that you started uncovering limiting beliefs and really learning about them and how to clear them so that you could move forward in life?
Yeah, I think in my counselling diploma, we touched on it and we learned some tools and strategies to do it. But like with us, we're always good at helping others better than we are to help ourselves. So I found myself, obviously like a lot of us to start with, because it was something so new to me, I kept doubting myself. I undercharged what I was worth. I was getting lower quality clients who weren't putting in the action. They weren't wanting to change their life, or I was doing a lot of stuff for free and saying yes to a lot of things, which really wasn't helping me move forward. And so my biggest one was self-doubt. I always found that I'd question myself, or that inner thought would be going, wow, what if you can't help them out? What if they don't get the result? What if they're not happy? All these what ifs or but ifs, but if this happens. And, they really held me back. They really just stopped me, or got me questioning, why am I even doing this? What am I achieving out of this? And, I just, all these thoughts would just go through your head that would really just, they'd absorb everything in your mind. And yeah, I just found myself with all of them. And I think it finally got to a point where I basically said, Paul, you are good enough. Look at their testimonials, because that was one big thing I always got. I always got testimonials, and I've always got testimonials from clients. And I said to myself, I'm like, Paul, you've got about 40 great testimonials from people whose lives you've changed here. Why are you questioning yourself? Why are you saying you're not good at this? It obviously comes natural to you. You can do this. And I think this is a key element I always talk to my clients about, is reflecting on the things that you've done. So I have it with my career counseling clients, where people start going, oh, I can't do that. I can't move into that. And I'm like, well, why? And they're like, oh, I don't know. I just can't. I'm like, well, let's go back and think about all the things that you've done in your career. And then you start reflecting on them. So I start going, okay, what's some amazing achievements or milestones you've achieved in your career? Oh, well, I won, best sales target for the month, or the best earner for the year. I'm like, okay, and you're not able to move into this career, which is specializing in that. Why? And they're like, I guess I can. So yeah, and it's reflecting on things and looking back on our past, because we're so forward paced that we stop to actually look what we've achieved and don't actually think about the amazing stuff that we've done in our life. I think that's just a really key takeaway.
Yeah. So how would you, if there's people in the audience watching this and thinking, oh, that would be a cool strategy, how do I actually do that? So give people a practical tool that they can do. Do they just write it down? Do they go into meditation? How would you recommend people do that?
Well, the best thing is to actually write down. What I've found with clients is to write down some of your previous careers you've done. And I use this for actually uncovering elements for what people love in their career moving forward as well. But I find one of the biggest things is actually writing down the previous careers you've done, and then thinking back, what are some of the biggest key achievements or takeaways that you've gained from those careers? And as I said, it doesn't have to be like, sales targets or anything like that. To me, it could be, say, if you've done volunteer work or and you've, got an amazing result by, I don't know, say creating a community garden or something like that, and you've changed the lives of thousands of people in that community. Write down those key things. And then, you'll look back at that and go, okay, so if you pile up, say, 3 or 4 of these amazing things that you've done in your previous careers, that will actually just start triggering into your head, wait, I am capable of doing these, or I have done these things in my past. What's to stop me achieving amazing things moving forward? I just find by, noting down your careers, first of all, on a piece of paper, the previous jobs you've done, and then put one key takeaway from each one of those careers, write it down on paper, look back on them, and then just go, this is what I've achieved, or this is what I've done in this career. It's actually quite an incredible feat. And, realizing that your potential is unlimited. You can achieve anything you really want in your life or in your career. There's nothing stopping you, and no one telling you that, you've got this level you can reach and that's it, or you've got that glass ceiling that's going to stop you. So yeah, that's one of the things that I'd definitely be doing to reflect on what you've achieved.
Awesome. And even though we know all this stuff, right, we teach people this stuff, we still can find ourselves in a position where we're really not feeling that for ourselves.
Definitely.
And it's a challenge, isn't it? So what would you say has been your darkest moment?
I'd say my darkest moment is working in a full-time job and knowing that you're just within reach of achieving, or you feel like you're just within reach of achieving your business goals and actually transitioning out of your job into a business, and then not hitting that level, something holding you back. Like it feels like you're pushing forward, but it's like someone's dragging you back by the shirt and holding you there. I think that feels like that's been one of the biggest and darkest times for me, because I feel like I put in so much work. I've got media exposure. I've been really active on social media. I've done all these things. I've gone through different courses and spent various money on courses and all these.
And take all the right actions, yeah.
Yeah, I've taken the action necessary, and yet you just don't get the results. And I think the biggest learning I got from that is to actually iterate what you're doing. So for me, I was going, okay, I love doing one-on-one sessions with people, but what can I do that's going to leverage more of my time? Because I'm obviously not getting the consistency. Like, this is the hard part. Some weeks and months can be amazing and you make amazing income in your business, and then others you might not get anything. And so that's been really hard, that inconsistency for me, because I've been supporting my family off of my income alone, to be able to transition into the business full time. So for me, iterating what I was doing, and I actually created a whole heap of online courses and have since gone into more of a corporate field. And it's definitely more right. Like, I'm getting the City of Stirling want me to do a workshop with them on internal interview coaching and stuff like that. And so it's naturally progressing more into that way and being able to leverage my time and get rewarded a lot better for it. So I think that was like definitely my darkest hour, trying to push forward and feel just within your reach that you're nearly there, but not quite, and not knowing what the next steps are to get there. It just drives you insane. Like for me, it just went round and round and round in my head. I just didn't know what I could do to move forward even further. And I felt like I was slaving my guts out day in, day out, staying up late after work. And yeah, it just drove me crazy. And I realized that was one of my biggest takeaways is, one of my friends actually said to me, business people tend to iterate their business and pivot in the direction they take every 6 months. And I found that that's something really true. Like, what you do, your core things that are working, keep going with. But, if something's not working, if it's not working for you at all and helping you move forward, you need to change that and to move into an area that's actually going to work, or take that, chance and go, okay, what's something that I can do with my business that, people need, or what's my client's biggest needs or wants, and how do they want this delivered? I think that's, one of my biggest takeaways.
Yeah, otherwise you're just wasting time, aren't you, and just spinning your wheels. So
Definitely.
When you are in that moment where you feel like you're spinning your wheels and someone's holding you back, what kind of processes or tools do you use at that point, or self-talk maybe, to help you nudge yourself out of that, recognizing that this is a place that us entrepreneurs find ourselves in? It doesn't matter how successful and rich you are either, does it? And how
definitely not.
But we all still always end up back here every now and again. So recognizing that, and I totally go there as well, recognizing that it's about each time you seem to know more tools that can help you shift through it. And it's about recognizing, okay, I'm here. What do I need to do to shift myself out of it? So what are your go-to tools when you feel like you're in that dark headspace?
Well, this actually took me a long time because the sad part was that I knew what the tools were, but for some reason I didn't actually utilize them. I just stayed stuck in this area for so long, and didn't move forward. And my biggest turnaround, this was actually a crazy turnaround for me where, I was ready to give up my business. I was in such a low spot. I was just going, why? This just isn't getting to the expectations that I wanted.
And that's heartbreaking. That's a heartbreaking place to be in, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. When you've got so much passion for it, and when everyone says to you, oh, you've got so much drive and passion for what you do. And I love what I do. I absolutely love it to bits. And then to feel like it's just not working for you, just crushes you. You feel like your soul's being crushed. So as I said, I had the tools in my head. I knew what to do, but for some reason I didn't do it. I just kept pushing forward into this dark space and going deeper and deeper. And I think when I was ready to give up on my business, and I literally said to my wife, I think I'm going to have to shut down my website and get rid of everything that I've got. Something actually happened. I actually got a call from a journalist from, I think it was WA Today or Perth Now, saying that they'd really like to interview me. They came across my website and some of my articles, and they really wanted to interview me. And I was like, well, if that isn't a push back in the direction and, the universe saying to me, Paul, you need to stick in this area. This is the move for you. So we're not letting you go that easy. Come back. And I think that was one of the things. I had a few moments like that where, some amazing things have happened when I've been at my lowest, always to nudge me back and go, this is what you're meant to do. And like we've talked before, I've seen some amazing people, amazing psychics over the time who've actually said the same thing to me. This is your passion and purpose. There's no deviation in your plan. One other one has told me different, what I'm supposed to be doing in my career, but for the time being, I feel like this is right. I feel like this is definitely something that I love doing, and it lights me up to help people with their careers.
Awesome. And when you compare it to being in a full-time job, we don't just quit every time we feel crappy in our jobs, do we? We just keep going until we get to a point where we really know it's not the right thing for us anymore.
Definitely.
And I've heard some really good quotes or kind of statements about how people will quit their full-time job to do their business full-time, and they say, oh, I'll give myself 6 months or 12 months to make it work. But you wouldn't go into a brand new career and just give yourself 6 months or 12 months to make it work. You know that you've got work to do. You know that you've got skills to develop and research to do and tools to get and, supervision to have and all that kind of stuff before you're at a level where you can progress to the next level and get promotion, and then the next level and the next level. And it's the same in business. I think we kind of tend to forget that we think that in 6 months we should have everything sorted.
Exactly.
It's not the way that it goes, so
it's definitely a long process. Like, I think you got to be in for the long game, not the short game in business. And it's such a cliche thing to say, but to understand your why or what's the biggest driver for you. And one key thing I always go back to is, like, obviously money is so important. Like, I love money. I love making money. It's like most people do. But if that's your sole reason that's going to drive you in your career or your business, you're only going to get to a certain point and just go, this is too hard. I give up. I don't have anything else behind me that's driving me or pushing me to keep moving forward. So why not just go back to a well-paid job?
Yeah. If you're not doing it for any other reason except for the money, then you're not doing it really from your heart and from your passion. So
exactly.
And that's really where your business will grow, isn't it?
For sure.
From a heart-based place. Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
Yeah. So what are some of the key, your go-to tools and stuff that you've learned over the last few years that when you're in a not so great place, that you go to those tools to really help you to move forward?
Yeah, one of the biggest ones that I've been doing for about a year now, and it does help me every night. Actually, there's a couple. One of the biggest ones, one of my friends actually gave me John Assaraf's course. It was on, I think it's called Master Your Business or Business Mastery or something like that. And honestly, that was an amazing thing. So basically what you do every single night, you plug in headphones, you listen to the audio, and he basically coaches you through, he talks about your beta brainwaves and your alpha brainwaves, and how when don't quote me on this, but I think when you're in your most relaxed state, I think you're in your beta brainwaves, which is where you absorb the most information and patterns and behaviors start changing over time. So if you keep listening to his audio series, basically it starts telling you all different patterns. I am an amazing business owner. All these different things that are going through on this audio tape. And it's really helped me. I thought to start with, oh yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's not going to be, that great. I did know John Assaraf's amazing, but yeah. And after time, I started being more confident in what I was doing. I noticed myself that I was more proud of what I was doing. I was more confident to tell people what I did, and, not being afraid to, I remember someone said to me, with business and with sales, especially with clients, if you're not helping people making those sales, then, if you're not making sales, you're not helping more and more people. It doesn't help you achieve your vision that you want. So my vision is to help the lives of 10,000 people with their careers around the world. And obviously to do that, you need to make sales and you need to benefit yourself as well. So, filling up your income.
Right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, so true. So, you need to fill your own cup as well and not do everything for free. So John Assaraf's one was a big help for me. I did notice a big difference in myself after about 2 to 3 weeks of doing it. And it keeps progressing and incorporating more and more things down the track. So I recommend that to anyone. But also meditation. I'll just see what the app's called on my phone. I think it's called Zen Meditation or something like that, if I can find it.
Yeah, I've got a good one called Calm, and you can set a timer, and there's different, if you want to achieve a particular thing like peace or love or, de-stress, that kind of thing, then you can click on the right one and it will take you through a meditation specific for that.
Exactly. Yeah. This one's very similar. So I think there's 5, 10, 15 or half an hour meditations. And I usually just do the 10-minute ones, but I find that at night, just doing that just really relaxes you. So try to stay awake. Don't fall asleep when you do it, obviously, which is hard. But doing that, it's just really helped calm me down and center me a lot more when I've been stressed or when I've had a shitty day or something like that. So and there's different ones. There's like relaxation, or there's ones for like stress and like what you said. So that's been a big tool for me. I think another one is actually, one of my biggest mentors is a guy I actually interviewed on my show called Nicholas Law. He's pretty much the godfather of career coaching. He created career coaching itself. Wow. And his book has really helped me out. Like I think the book's called The Pathfinder. Sorry, I had to think of the title, The Pathfinder. And it's got some amazing stuff in there for your mindset as well. So first of all, working on your mindset and getting that in the right place to actually, take the action and get clarity on what you want. So a lot of the things there, like one of them's like, he calls them the but ifs, that's what I brought up before. Hang on a sec, my computer's just popping up with all this stuff. But ifs, basically where you start questioning yourself and going, oh, but if that happens, and then people start thinking the worst case scenario. And when you go, okay, so on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely is that actually going to occur? And when people go, well, I guess, a 5 or a 6, okay. Yeah, they're like, so it's not really a likelihood of it going to occur. Or what's the worst thing that's going to happen if that did occur? Then people just go, oh, this. And you're like, well, yeah, it's usually not that detrimental or that devastating as our mind conceives it to be. So yeah, that's been some big tools for me.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we tend to catastrophize a lot of issues when we feel really bad about them, don't we? But that catastrophic thinking doesn't lead us anywhere. Worrying never gets us anywhere. So literally every single crappy thing that you've gone through in your life, you've overcome, right? So
exactly.
More crappy things will happen in your life and you'll overcome them too. And the key thing is that we grow and learn from them.
For sure. So true.
Yeah. Cool. So would you change anything that you've gone through?
That's a tough one. I guess I would like to have jumped into my business full time. But I think in doing that, for me, it would have caused more problems than solutions. I think because I needed to learn the lessons that came from it. I think the key takeaways for me are actually, I always look at like what you said, there's, even in the negative, there's always lessons we learn out of all of the negative things in our life as well, or we either grow or we learn. And so I think I needed to learn those lessons. So I'd say, no, I if I had to do it again, I would do it again. But I think, I guess I just try and realize that, my self-worth and to eliminate my self-doubt a lot quicker, and to try and figure out, I am capable of doing these amazing things. What's stopping me? And, I should have known that I do have these things that I can achieve. So I think that's the only things that I would change. I think everything else, you know, I needed to learn. So
yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, I guess you've covered some points of this already, but what are the best things that you've learned about yourself as a person and the world and in general and other people from having gone through the adversity that you've experienced in your life?
Yeah, one of the biggest things. It's funny actually, because I saw some friends of mine who from high school a few years ago. Actually, probably about a year and a half ago. And in high school, I was a really shy, quiet person, mainly because I didn't have any guidance or direction, like I was saying. And, you know, I was bullied quite a lot in high school, like quite badly, to the point that's why I also, you know, wagged school or just didn't go to school altogether, because, you know, I got sick of that. It really, you know, got to some low places where I'd, you know, contemplated killing myself and stuff like that. And, you know, I saw that some guys I used to be friends with at school, and they knew me as a quiet, reserved sort of kid. And, you know, I was really short and really small in high school. And they said to me, they're like, wow, you're really confident and really, you know, really different, like in a good way. Like things have changed with you. Like you seem like a completely different person. And I said, yeah, well, you know, I've found what I love. I've, you know, learned a lot about myself and the real person that I am. I felt like, you know, most of my life, I was suppressed from being the person who I am. And this is the true me. And now I know that, and I'm confident in myself. And, you know, I admittedly, I still get self-doubt and I still get limiting beliefs. I get those automatic thoughts popping up, but I know how to better manage them. And I know what my core reason is and what's the most important to me as a person in my life, which is my family. And, you know, with my business, it's the flexibility. My big undying reason is to spend more time with my family. That's why, another reason why I love business, and that's why I do what I do. So.
Awesome. Yeah, such an interesting point there. And I love just when you said the word suppression, what popped into my head was suppression leads to depression. And ultimately, a lot of people, when they're in depression, do consider killing themselves. So, and that seems to be a pretty key theme with a lot of people that I come into contact with through these interviews and through my coaching, is that most people have at some point, even if it's a fleeting thought, considered suicide, whether they've acted on it or not. You know, our brain does seem to get to that place when we're that much suppressed. Yeah, definitely.
And it's really bad, because you can kind of understand, you know, it's really sad that people do it, and like it's horrible that people do it, but you can kind of feel when you've gone through your own stuff where you don't think logically, you don't get those, you know, the proper thoughts going through your head. All you're thinking of and all you're dwelling on is that negativity, and that just breeds more negativity in your life. So, and
that creates so much negative emotion and changes the physiology of your body as well, doesn't it? So
definitely
leading to that kind of panic, that horrible, panicky, stressed out feeling. Yeah,
most definitely.
From which we never take any logical action.
No, exactly right.
So what top tips would you like to share with the people watching today?
Yeah, sure. So some of the top ones is definitely really understand your core values. I know it's another cliche one, but it's actually a really crucial element to look for in your career. So understanding a lot of people don't actually understand what their strengths, values, natural abilities are. And they can never present themselves to an employer or sell themselves to an employer, or even find the right career that's perfect for them. So finding your core values, for example, I know my top ones are flexibility, family. I have to be connected with people all the time. I find that if I'm not talking to people on a daily basis, I start losing my mind a little bit, because that's crucial to me. I need that human connection with people. So really understanding. What I'll do is I'll put it in I'll give it to you for your show notes too. It's a top 50, I think it is 50 core values, and how to actually uncover your core values to help the audience. So I'll put that in there. That's something that I use with my clients. But also understanding your natural abilities. Like a lot of people don't know what comes naturally to them, or if you've heard your friends or your family or loved ones say to you, wow, that just comes really easy to you. I really struggle with that. That's something you need to pick up on, and pick up on these key tips and, you know, things that people share with you. Like if you know that you're a really natural, you know, communicator, which I know I am, and like yourself, I'd say you are too, Carly, because we're both really like extroverted people, is really understanding what your natural abilities are, because they're really important in finding fulfillment and happiness in your career. So I think the biggest thing is most people just don't understand themselves. That's the biggest things. And yeah, if you needed any help in getting clarity on what you really want in your career, yeah, don't hesitate to reach out or ask me any questions on Facebook. So yeah, I'm more than happy to help you out however I can.
That was a great point, actually, in that, when people do say, oh, that just comes really naturally to you, you're really good at that. And I think it's when we are really good at it and it does come really naturally to us, then we do kind of take that for granted a bit, in that we assume that everyone else finds it that easy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Really tap into that, into those skills that you naturally have, and find a way of monetizing it for your business.
Most definitely.
Or finding a career that you love that can really amplify those skills that you have.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So how can people reach you, Paul, if they want to get in touch for some career counselling?
Yeah, sure. So the best way to reach me, I'm pretty active on Facebook. That's probably my biggest one. So you can either head to my business page, which is Sky's the Limit, SKYES, the limit. Or you can send me a private message, Paul Ames, on Facebook. Yeah, that'll probably be the best ways. I'm also on LinkedIn, Instagram, under Sky's the Limit Career Counselling. So yeah, feel free to shoot me a message. And yeah, also if you wanted to get on board, I've got some amazing courses and yeah, a career breakthrough bundle you could also check out. So yeah, there's that, and also my show, which has some amazing guests. Carly was one of my guests on my show, so yeah, be sure to check that out. There's some great insights and advice from some of the world's top career experts, mindset and peak performance coaches. So yeah, be sure to jump on there and check it out.
Awesome, and I'll put the links for everything in the show notes page as well.
Awesome.
Oh, thanks so much for chatting to us today, Paul. It's been a pleasure to interview you. You've shared some really great gold nuggets with our audience, and yeah, feel free to get in touch with Paul, people, because he is really, really good at what he does, and he can definitely help you out if you're kind of struggling with knowing what to do in career or business, or lacking kind of direction in what you're doing. Then be sure to get in touch with him.
Thanks so much, Carly. I've always loved our chats. Get so much from it. So
yeah, me too. Thanks for watching episode 5, everyone. And I will catch you on the flip side for episode 6. I look forward to seeing you then.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for joining me today for my video interview series From Surviving to Thriving, stories of real people overcoming real adversity. If you're currently going through a situation that you're struggling to cope with right now, some kind of change or trauma in your life, maybe that's happened in your past and you're struggling to deal with, then I'm here for you, either via one-on-one coaching or through my online coaching program, From Surviving to Thriving, which I put together based on my own experiences of overcoming adversity and with the clients that I have worked with, helping them through their tough times. This is a combination of tools, quick and easy tools that will help you to transform your life, help you shift out of that negative mindset and into neutralizing those negative emotions so that you can cope with what's going on and create a better life for yourself. Head on over to my website, coachcarly.com, where you'll find all the information you'll need. And if you want to get in touch, feel free to do so via the contact page on my website. I look forward to hearing from you soon.